So, Dr. Reza, what kind of exercises can the participants expect in the workshop?
One thing is that I will I will try to speak about microbial corrosion from the angle point of an engineer. Most of the time, what I have witnessed or heard about similar workshops on microbial corrosion has been that it involves too much microbiology, and the engineering approach is just too thin, or just the opposite. So I have tried to maintain a balance between these factors, and it is based on my more than 5,000 hours of successfully running such workshops globally. And also that I am an ASME certified lecturer about microbial corrosion. So one aspect is that we will get from microbiology as much as required, and as much as required for our engineering purposes. The second thing is that I will try to introduce cases of microbial corrosion so that the participants will see how microbial corrosion could look like without getting lost in the morphology of the failure. Because as I said, manifestation of microbial corrosion could be quite similar to other corrosion processes, especially pitting by chemical attack or a stray current corrosion. So I will try to give a systematic approach towards how to make sure that it is microbial corrosion, and we will not be wasting our time and money on something which is not microbial corrosion. I will also explain that in addition to metals, we will also need to be careful about possibility of microbial degradation for non-metals. This is very important because microbial corrosion is an issue that when someone hears about it, automatically assumes that it is for metals, and the most important bacteria involved are sulfur-reducing bacteria. I will introduce at least 9 or 10 types of bacteria which are quite involved or could be involved in microbial corrosion activities. And not only from microbial corrosion point of view, but also that these bacteria could have severe effect on our health. And this is also one aspect that we hope that we will be able to cover here. In addition to reviewing myths of microbial corrosion, I will also, if we have time, I would like to also talk about the difference between corrosion prevention and corrosion control. Because if you have I'm just trying to put it very briefly, if you have a greenfield project, it is possible to talk about corrosion prevention. But if you have a brownfield project, you cannot prevent corrosion. You can only control it. Simply because for a brownfield project, the system has been going for some years, and you cannot change many of operating parameters. So you have to find a way just to live with it. And in this workshop, we will explain how to live with it. It is important to also note that, like physicians, I also believe that prevention is better than treatment. There are treatment methods available, and I will go through those treatment methods as well, like, for example, use of biocides, use of coating, etc., etc. However, the key point is not to focus on treatment options, to basically find ways how to prevent it, either by changing design, like, for example, to have lesser amount of horizontal branches in a pipeline, for example, or carrying out hydrostatic testing, or pigging with more care, or welding with more care, especially post-weldment treatment. So prevention is always better than treatment. These are some of the features that I hope we will be able to cover, so that when you attend this workshop, you will find out that there are a lot that can be learned about microbial corrosion. And also that I'm sorry that this time we couldn't have this workshop as a physical workshop, because in physical workshops, my method is quite different. I create small groups, and I make them compete with each other to get a project, and I am the project owner. This means that people will start to basically discuss with each other to come up with some applicable approaches. This is a method that, unfortunately, for a virtual workshop, we cannot apply, but hopefully maybe in the future. My main goal will be an engineering approach rather than a scientific approach. So it is an engineering approach, quite precise, quite scientific, but I'm not going to put everything on the side of theories, that sort of thing. I will also address some of drawbacks of currently used standards for studying microbial corrosion. This may sound kind of, an oxymoron thing, because we may assume that, standards are there to make life easier for us. How come that these standards themselves could have faults? But this is the fact of life. And in no workshop so far, I have seen that such topics will be discussed. So we will try to come up with a package that will be useful for both researchers and industrialists.
Right. Right, exactly. I feel that's really required at the moment, because there's so much work done on both ends, but they never interact with each other. So I believe
Yes.
this would be a perfect opportunity for so many of them to learn how to think like both a researcher and an engineer, and get to the right solution. So
That's right.
yes.
That's
So
right.
I'm really looking forward to the workshop myself. And
Thank you.
thank you
Welcome.
so much for this opportunity. I am hoping that there will be many of us who will find this interesting as well. So I mean, we'll see you in a week from now for
Yes.
the workshop.
Yes.
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 Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.